speaking of dogs, woo, 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 woo. So we all here. It was pretty good, huh? Everybody here has pets, right?
Yes.
No. Yes.
Okay, we all like love our pets. They're like
No.
they're great, but we don't talk enough about like how dumb or annoying they are sometimes.
Oh,
Like,
pets are dumb.
Like
My dog is dumb.
Daisy's getting up there in age now, right?
Yeah.
Like she doesn't hear as well, so she doesn't know how loud she barks.
Daisy is his dog.
She's my 16-year-old blue tick coonhound.
She's 16?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dang.
She's
Douche.
trucking. She can legally drive now. Yeah, she's turning 17 in a couple months.
Oh, she can go to R-rated movies.
Yeah, she's just gonna stay around forever. But she's kind of getting senile or just like really annoying now. Like when I was staying at my parents' house, like we stayed in the same room because that's where her little crate is.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one night where every half hour she would just go like, "Arf." So I'd let her out to go. I assume she's thirsty, she has to go to the bathroom. But no, she does one lap around the living room, comes back, and goes to bed. I'm like, I hate you. So I shut the crate again, and I try to go back to sleep. And half an hour later, she starts barking again. And that happened 8 times in a row that night. And like the 6th time or 7th time, I'm like, I'm just going to let her bark and see what happens. And she just kept doing that for like 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll let her out. And she does another lap again. And then sucker. Goes back to bed. I have no idea why she was doing it, what she was trying to accomplish, but I hated her so much that moment. Like, it was like, I love you, but I hate you right now.
Maybe she wanted to stretch her legs, you know? She was
No.
getting, her legs fell asleep, you know, you gotta go stretch them out.
I was just wondering if you guys have any stories like that with your animals.
I do. So my dog is a golden retriever. His name is Mac. And he is
Indestructible.
Like, he is so dumb. And he's not your he's how old is he now? I think he's like 7 or 8 at this point.
That's insane.
And yeah, right. We got him as a puppy, and he has always been like Andy said, basically indestructible. He's hit his head and broken more things in my house than I ever did as a child.
Oh yeah.
Like,
he would wreck things.
Yes, he
like
would
with his head. Just
he would wreck shop on everything. Like there was one time, like when he was a puppy, where like he. You know how like when puppies first see themselves in a mirror, like, ah, shit, it's another dog. Get out of here, other dog. And they fight with them for a while. And they usually like, they run to the mirror and they just bark at it and kind of like paw the mirror. No, like my room has a mirror in it and it's like kind of hidden by the bed. So he couldn't see it. And like, I let him into my room for the first time and he's like running around. And then he sees the mirror from all the way across the room and he doesn't bark. He just runs at it full speed and then just boom, headbutts my mirror. And like he stands back and's like, the dog is still alive. Backs up, turns around, and then headbutts it again. And I'm like, stop. And I had to pick him up and take him out because I was worried he would just keep doing that. And then as he just kind of did a bunch of stuff like that until he got older. And I was playing fetch with him in the backyard. And I was just throwing the ball. And, you know, ideally, if you would throw a ball for a dog, the dog would run at the ball. And then as they approach the ball, they would slow down and then grab the ball and then run back to you. Not Mac. His thing was he would maintain top speed and then just put his head down. He would just put his head down and try to grab the ball, which half the time...
You gotta drop the anchor.
he does have a big head.
Has a huge head, which half the time resulted in him just somersaulting over himself and missing the ball entirely. And so one time I threw it, and it got a little bit too close to like this wooden picket fence we have, and he's running at it, true to form, tries to grab the ball, somersaults, just ass over elbows and rolls, and hits the fence, and I hear like a full-on like wood snap, and I'm like, what the? I was worried it was him at first, but then I realized who the dog was, and I'm like, oh, he's invincible, and so he just happily gets up. Full-on smile, runs over, grabs the ball, comes back to me. There's a hole in our fence now. He full-on broke 2 boards, like with his face just snapped entirely back. And I'm like, oh, God, Mac. And he runs over. He's like, come on, throw it again. Throw it again. Do it again, man. Come on.
I've almost got this game down.
I got this. There was another time where, you know how like dogs don't have traction on tile floors?
Yeah.
So I was playing with him. I was chasing him, right? And I was running around. I was kind of running in a circle, and he's trying to catch me. And then he does the thing again where he like starts to enter the room and then runs at me. And I just sort of sides. This is probably more my fault than his. but I just kind of sidestep to the right, and he tries to stop, but he skids and then rolls again, and then hits like this dresser we have and knocks over every family picture we have.
Nice.
And they all like, some of the glass like shatters, and like one lands on him. It doesn't break, thankfully, but he kind of like brushes it off and then runs back over to me, and I'm like, oh, come on. So I pick him on. I've been picking up after that dog for so long. Love him to death, but he's just dumb as bricks.
Speaking of like dogs slipping on tiles, Daisy's back legs, they kind of like, she can't like support herself as well in the back now. So if she stands on something like slippery, the legs can go like woo until she's like just splits on the ground like a seal. Yeah. So we got her these little shoes, like little booties to put on them.
Which
like,
are adorable.
Yeah,
by
they
the
got
way.
like rubber on the back to keep her up. They like give her traction.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody at the park loves them when I walk her now. It's just like guys from across the park like walking their dog like, that dog's got shoes on.
Like, thank you.
And this one guy came up with this little fat beagle. It was like, it looked like an old man. It had like whiskers and was full on gray. And it was like, and came up to us and he was like, my dog likes your dog's shoes. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. And he was like, how old is she? I was like, oh, she's 16. He's like, holy shit. This guy's 6. He's like, good for you, dog.
My dog wants to know where your dog acquired them shoes.
That guy was just really into the shoes, but he didn't want to act weird, so he's just like, the dog's the one who likes the shoes. It was not me.
It's not projecting at all.
I just thought how crazy it was. Like, there's this little fat old dog, looks like an old man, and he's like a third of Daisy's age.
Yeah, your dog is standing the test of time right now. It's going to be around forever. So this is kind of sad,
Oh, no.
but
Like Marley and me sad?
No. So my friend John had this little dog. I don't know what it was, like what the breed of it was, but it looked like a little, I don't know. It was just a tiny little black dog. Had like little pointy ears, like kind of curly tail. Her name was Sadie, and she was old. And I think how old did she get? I think she was like 12 when she actually finally died. But before then, like the 2 years that I actually knew her, she was blind and deaf, right?
That's a good combo.
Exactly. But like the saddest part of the part that I thought was like the worst was that like her whole belly, right? If you looked at her from the distance, it looked like she was either fat or had like just a lot of fur down there. Mm-hmm. But then like if you touched her there, it felt really firm and like just kind of lumpy. Her whole stomach was tumor.
Oh God.
Her whole stomach was tumor.
Oh, I thought she was gonna be like ripped or something.
No, it was sad.
Oh no.
I talked to John. I'm like, John, fix your dog, man. He's like, yeah, she's old. She's probably gonna die soon. I'm like, yeah, but she's 90% tumor, man. Like,
That's why.
Like, come on. And then like, she'd like lay down, and you could literally, so gross. You could literally like grab her by the tumor. And like, it didn't hurt apparently. You just grab her by the tumor and like pick her up, kind of. And so she's being suspended by her tumor.
That's so gross.
Yeah, it was. Thankfully, they actually ended up getting it removed at some point. So, she was a new dog. She would run around and she looked happy. And I'm like, see, this is what happens when you fix your problems. Apparently, they started off as like just one little tumor over here and like one next to it, but it grew to cover her entire stomach.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it was super sad.
You had to live with that.
Yeah.
I don't like your friend.
To be fair, he didn't have any say over it. It was more his parents. But they eventually they did get it done. And she was fine.
Get her done.
Get her done.
And then she died.
And then she died. Yeah. But she had a happy like year and a half after they removed her gross festering tumor.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a huge tumor.
Yeah. Andy had a duck that was really mean.
Man,
What?
Yeah.
You had a duck?
We had a
That is
duck.
such an Andy pet.
No, that was all my dad. Like, I forget where they got it. It was like my aunts or something.
You had ants too?
I had
You had
ants.
ants and ducks?
Go on, Brayden.
Okay, so they got the duck. This was before I was born. They got the duck, and they're like, oh man, we're never going to have any more kids. I always wanted a son named Andy.
What's the next best thing?
He's like, well, we got this
A
duck.
duck.
Let's name it Andy. So they had Andy the duck, and the duck was only like a year older than me. I don't know how old it was when they got it, but less than a year later, they're like, "Oh shoot, I'm pregnant." I'm like,
we already used the name.
What's it? We'll name him Duck.
It was like, found out it's like a boy, and it's like, oh, we can finally name him Andy. It's like, oh, but we already used it on the duck. Oh yeah, I guess it's just Duck now. So technically, I was named after a duck.
Maybe that's why the duck was so mean. You stole his name.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
That duck probably has like a weird big brother complex where like a new baby comes along and it gets replaced and he has to share a room with it now and it's just like quack. He's all pissed
Yeah, you're
off.
breaking all his toys.
Yeah.
I could just see like the duck is like a little duckling, and my dad holding it, and just like, Papa, you are Andy. And like a year later, I come along and it's like, you are Andy.
Get out of here, you duck.
Scram, duck.
He's just duck now. That's so sad.
Man, that duck was an asshole, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you
I'm
stole
not
his whole
surprised.
life.
But like, no, it only liked my. That's overselling it. It only tolerated my dad. Like, it saw him as like the I don't know, the papa duck or something, because it just followed him. Everyone else, it would chase and peck and bite relentlessly, like Matt.
Like me. Yeah. So there was one time, like,
Can you just like punt it?
I was in like 3rd grade.
That's pround of fun.
Yeah.
It was what?
What?
Frowned-a-fon?
Say that again. Let's say that again.
Pround of fun.
What's wrong with you?
Words are hard.
Words are hard. But so I was in like 3rd grade and I heard he had a duck. And like, oh my God, I want to hang out with this duck. And I'm sure he told me like, it's really mean. Like, it's not going to like you. I'm like, I don't care. I want to play with this duck.
Oh yeah, just for everyone listening, we're not exactly sure if this is how the story goes.
Oh yeah. This is how my little kid mind rationalized it
and
by
I
making.
and I don't remember.
Yeah. I rationalized it as Andy was the bad guy in this situation. So
Probably.
So I go over to his house and like the duck was in this little cage in his backyard. It was pretty big. And like it's just kind of sitting there, right? And it's like it's waiting for blood. And
Snails.
exactly, bloody snails. And
Ew.
it's the hua gua.
That should be your metal band, Andy.
Bloody snails.
And so he comes over to it and like we're sitting there and I'm like I was trying to like, try to pet it through the cage, but it would like, nip at my fingers. Excuse me. And my memory of the situation goes, Andy's like,
Re-memory?
yeah, my memory of the situation, my re-memory of the situation goes,
Sounds like something from Kingdom
I was
Hearts.
gonna say.
the read chain of memories. Andy's like, hey, Matt, do you want to let it out? And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool. Not knowing it would peck relentlessly at my feet. And so he unlatches the thing and opens the thing, and like a bull out of the starting gate, and like spreads its wings and starts flapping at me. I'm like, Jesus! And it's chasing me around the yard.
It's just like pitch black. You hear like roaring.
There's blood and bones strewn about the front of the gate. And it's chasing me. And it's like, and ducks have like, I don't know if they have like sharp teeth, but they have like these, they can bite pretty hard apparently. And so like it would catch me and like bite at like my Achilles tendon because it knows the weak points of human anatomy. I'm like, God, Jesus. And I'm like, and Andy's sitting over there laughing his ass off. He's like, ah, ha, ha. And it's because it's not going after him. Because it already knows what Andy tastes like. And so somebody get this freaking duck away from me. And then I don't even know how we get it back into its cage, but I think probably your parents come out and restrain the beast.
Maybe. I don't know.
And then like
Put its muzzle back on.
imagine the scene from Monty Python where the rabbit comes out and just eviscerates those guys. Think that, but with a duck. That's how my little mind saw this. And I'm like, I have like little cuts on my legs. I'm like, Andy, why would you tell me to let that out? For me.
Well,
I don't remember. I don't remember how it happened.
What do you have to say for yourself?
do you remember it happening, or do you remember Matt telling you it happened?
That.
I remember it.
It wasn't traumatic to me. I had no reason to remember it. I feel like I should have remembered it because of how funny I thought it was.
That was
Yeah.
just
Ass.
an average Tuesday for Andy.
I was the bloodletting sacrifice for that duck.
It needs to
And
feed.
you would do that every Tuesday. Bring a little kid over from school. Oh, I have a duck back here. You're gonna love it. And then it would eat them. They'd be dead.
It subsists entirely on snails and the souls of little children.
That's how he decided you'd be his friend. You survived.
You made it through the gauntlet.
That's the sound ducks make if they're angry at you. Did you know that?
No.
They have a nice little like wah, 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 when they're normal, right? But as soon as they're angry, it turns into turns into the grossest thing you've ever heard.
At least he didn't use his lasso penis and really win.
Wrangle you up.
Exactly. Yeah, ducks are assholes,
But
man.
like I think
Their
I
penises
don't know,
look like homemade linguine.
Yeah, I was telling Andy, ducks are one letter away from dicks.
No, I think like the funniest thing about that duck was like it recognized my dad so well that it recognized his sneeze. And I remember me and my friends were hanging out relatively close to my house, but like a pretty good distance. Like I don't know, if I explain to Matt, he'll get it, but no one else listening is going to get it. So it's like, all right, we were relatively close to my house. Me and my friends were just talking. My parents were going on a walk. And they see us and they come over and they start talking a little bit. And then my dad was like, I got to sneeze. Sneezes. And then from my backyard, you hear the duck. Wah, wah.
It's like an alarm going off.
Sneeze, so it started quacking.
My master needs me. He's just banging at the gate. Release me.
This duck was so weird.
He requires aid. To be fair though, your dad does sneeze like he's dying.
Yeah,
Is it worse than mine?
Yes, because his dad like
you have a lot of sneezes, but he yells
Yeah, dude.
at the top of his lungs when he sneezes.
like I was at his house one time and I was helping him like with their backyard, and his dad was like, you know, we had to go through this little gate to go in and out of the backyard, and I was like shoveling dirt or something like that, and his dad was like behind the gate and like bringing something else in, but he was like, oh, I'm gonna go grab these things of wood, Matt. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll just do this. And he walks out the gate. 2 seconds after he leaves the gate, I hear, ah! But like louder than that and like bassier. And I'm like shoveling dirt. And I just throw the dirt straight up in the air. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, I don't hear anything after that. And I'm like, what? I put the shovel down. I walk outside, and I'm like, I don't see his dad. And I'm like, I thought he was. Like, is he okay? Like, did he hurt himself?
Is he yelling at me? Is he angry?
Yeah. I don't know what just happened. And then his dad walks back out like out of the other side, just carrying some boards, and he's just happy as can be. He's
That's
like,
his clone. The other one had been murdered.
So like, yeah, it was a traumatizing experience.
My dad also has like a yelling sneeze, but his is more like attack. And he told me it used to not be like that, but it became a habit for him because when he was like in elementary school, he would do that to scare his like substitute teachers on purpose. Like they would be turned around and his sneeze would just go, "Attack!" And the teachers would be like, "Oh, what's happening?" And so then he did that so often that it just became his normal sneeze.
He trained
That's
himself.
not how it works.
I don't know. It just became his thing.
Yeah, he
That's
trained
like
himself to become an angry crow.
Yeah.
That's like the old legend: if you make a funny face and then you get hit like that, your face will stay like stuck like that forever. But yeah,
I feel like my dad does that with a lot of stuff. We'll do stuff as a joke, and then all of a sudden he's saying stupid stuff all the time just because he doesn't know how to say it anymore.
well, your dad's sneeze sounds like a Bruce Lee movie.
Yeah, he's about to do like Liu Kang's bicycle kick.
Yeah. Whoop! Shoryuken.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
And then, you know, he couldn't really get in trouble because he'd be like, "Why are you screaming?" And he's like, "It was just a sneeze." So, you know, whatever.
You can't do nothing about it.
And he was like the only Mexican kid in school, so you know it would have been discrimination. So
Oh, he's gonna pull
take
that card.
Oh,
yeah,
damn, man.
no, I mean he didn't do that.
Would he have to pull his green card?
Ooh,
Ooh.
Andy.
Well, yeah,
Look
because
at
it went
that.
like green, yellow, red. I remember.
That's what you were talking about.
Yep.